This episode of Walt Disney World Today is being sponsored by DVCBuyResell.com. DVC by Resell is a great place to buy or sell your Disney Vacation Club points. You can view their current DVC resales, get answers to frequently asked questions, and see the DVC point charts, all by going to DVCBuyResell.com online at www.dvcbuyresell.com, or you can call Chantel, who's the owner, at 1-800-844-4099.
This is Walt Disney World Today. Give us 5 minutes and we'll give you the world.
It's Friday, November 9th, 2007, and this is episode 333 of Walt Disney World Today. I'm Matt Hochberg from StudioCentral.com. On the show today, we have Mike Newell of Mouse World Radio. Welcome, Mike.
I'm planning my 3 weeks from now we'll be on the cruise, Matt. Love, exciting and new.
A 3-hour tour. Also on the show today is Mike Scopa of MousePlanet.com and All Ears Now. Welcome, Mike.
Welcome to Disneyland, USA.
What?
Oh. Yes.
If you had wings.
No.
Nope.
Dreamflight.
Nope.
Oh.
I'm just naming everything in that area.
Soren?
Nope.
You had... I don't know. What is it, Scopa?
Hey, hold on. There's a Mickey bar at stake here.
I'll let you think about it. I'll say it one more time, and then we'll get on with the show. And then at the end of the show, if Matt remembers, we'll tell everybody where it's from. Again, the podcast opening is Welcome to Disneyland, USA.
The Walt Disney Story?
You're close.
One Man's Dream.
Man's Dream.
One man's
dream.
The very first line of the last film Walt Disney ever made.
Wow.
A little less morbid, we have Annette Owens of MEI Mouse Fan Travel on. Welcome, Annette.
Not that much.
Hi, guys. I'm with you guys. 3 weeks and counting. We're sailing away.
Woohoo! Come sail. That's the new theme, Matt. Come sail away. Come sail away. Nothing?
Since we were trying to kind of get ready for the holidays here and try to plan, or rather help you plan out your upcoming trips potentially, we've decided to answer some of the listener questions that we've had built up. It's, as you know, it's kind of a joke that we have a lot of questions to get to, and we decided today we would start answering more questions in order to kind of get through them and help you get them answered before you go. And we had nothing better to talk about, so without further ado, we have the listener questions. And
I had ideas, folks. They just didn't want to use them. Go ahead, Matt.
Well, the first one's going to be a question about the marathon, and it's from Lisa Ferry, who's from Virginia Beach, Virginia, who writes, okay, so Dr. Scopa, soothed my nerves in regards to being able to check comfy, dry clothes at the finish area after we singleton friendless types running, limping, or crawling through the half marathon this January. What do you all think about the slightly bruised bananas and bagels, areas of stress, drinks, and or first aid for those of us who only run and paid, $80 or so to do so? If I barf or otherwise soil myself, will someone help me, or am I out of luck here too?
So the question is...
about first aid and helping. And I think you have first-hand knowledge about this, Scope. When you broke your... I was asking, do you remember when you broke your ankle? But I'm pretty sure you do. Didn't you go up to there was some guy over there who had that spray, there was a medic guy or something?
Actually, that happened on the course when I thought I just sprained my ankle. But there is a medical tent that's at the end of the at the race, and there will be bananas and water and Powerade and all kinds of stuff. As far as a lot of people have asked about warm clothing and things like that, what I would suggest is bring a backpack and put in the backpack anything you need and check it at baggage claim. And then when you finish the race, just go over, claim your bag, and put on your stuff, and you're all set.
Lisa also wants to know, Leonard Scopa, do you guys use iPods during the race? Is it too weird or to have it on you, or just plug it in when we trudge through the wilderness from Magic Kingdom to Epcot? I'd hate to exhaust crucial battery power at the beginning when adrenaline is high and Mickey could be yelling, "Go, Lisa, go!"
The race directors do not want people to use anything. No MP3 players, no iPods. It's a safety issue because there are times when people need to know when when things are happening. For instance, when we were running the Tower of Terror race, they were asking us to move over to the left because the lead runners for the 6.5K were coming on fast. So it's a safety issue. You need to be able to hear in case something is yelled out to the runners. Also, for many people, when people are walking in front, there are times when the runners will say, "Could you please move over?" Because, there are people who walk 4, 5, 6 abreast. So it's a good idea not to have an iPod.
All right. Next email is from Robert from Massachusetts, who writes, I'm going down to Walt Disney World from April 15th to the 22nd, staying at the Beach Club Villas with my wife and 4 ulcers. Oops, I mean children. 15, 12, 7, and 4. We'll be arriving by noon on the 15th and leaving early on the 22nd. Anyway, I've never been down this time of year and need to be making dining reservations. What would you suggest for a touring and dining plan? Just dinner. I believe that Friday and Saturday are grad nights, so I assume I should stay away from the Magic Kingdom on these days. This is a golden opportunity for Matt to redeem your email reputation and respond before my trip. Otherwise, I will just make numerous PS all over the parks about other various aliases, Matt Hotchberg, Lou Mangello, etc., etc. This will be on your conscience.
Woohoo! We're ahead of time. We're ahead.
That's right. See? So, April 15th to the 22nd. If I were you, Robert, I would go to touringplans.com and check the crowd calendar and go with what parks Len recommends as kind of the basis to start out with. Because certainly you're going to set yourself up the best way right there, and then you can kind of tailor it. Say, maybe I don't want to go in this park, and then you can look at what parks to avoid and decide, you know what I mean? That's what I would do to begin with. Scopa, do you have anything to add to that?
Yes, what I would do is I would check to see which parks have extra magic hour evenings and focus on those parks for an ADR.
So you would go to the parks that have extra magic hours to get an ADR?
Yep.
Is there?
Well, for instance, the reason is that, number one, you don't, obviously when grad night is going on, Magic Kingdom is very popular during grad night weeks. I mean, it's popular for 4 straight nights. The night before the grad nights, the next 2 nights, of course, with grad nights, and the night afterwards. So, other than Magic Kingdom, I should qualify my answer. I would say that Epcot, Animal Kingdom, for what it's worth, and MGM, if they have extra magic hour evenings, I would concentrate on having an ADR there, only because a lot of people don't think of having a late dinner. One of the things that people always go by is their eating habits when they go down there, and they have a tough time finding ADR. So what you have to do is you have to adjust. And adjusting for a late night dinner is something that not too many people do. So that's why I would do it. Usually works for me.
Probably, unfortunately, Scopa is right. So I'll defer to you.
Oh, it works. It works. We've done it a few times, taken and had a great day in the park and ended with dinner, and everybody else has left the park while we're eating, and then we.
Yeah, Len and I have done that. We've eaten at Le Cellier at 9 o'clock at night. It's great.
All right. Next
not
email.
for sleep habits, but.
Next email is from Joel from the Meandering Mouse Club TV podcast. Aloha, guys. Jeff from Houston of the Meandering Mouse podcast and myself went to Asia this past June. I stopped in Hong Kong first and then met up with Jeff in Tokyo to do Tokyo Disneyland Resort. Wow, what an experience. Over in Tokyo, they have specific areas where you can get ready to watch the parades and shows. You can only start to get a place 1 hour before the event, and people up front are required to sit down, and people in the back are allowed to stand. Think 5 to 7 deep, with only 6 or 7 standing, all the rest seated. In front of the castle, they set up seating where you can get tickets on a first-come, first-served basis for castle shows. It was so orderly, it was amazing. My question is, do you think such rules, if implemented here in the U.S., could be enforced if it was going to lead to a better guest experience? Keep up the great work, and it will either be looking forward to meeting you at MouseFest, or it was great meeting you at MouseFest, depending on when you read this.
This is Jeff.
This is
Jeff.
Joel.
This is Joel. It works over there because of the culture. It would not work over here.
I agree. I think you'd have
Even the lines to see the characters, people get pushy
Exactly.
and tested to do. I almost got hit in the face. Yeah, no, it wouldn't work here.
All it takes is one of those families from, New Jersey who goes, "Do you know who I am? I'm not waiting in line. I'm Lou Mangello."
Smack.
Okay, all letters from New Jersey to Matt.
Just for that, Annette. The next email is totally for you right here. Next email's from Scott Slay of Jeffersonville, Indiana, who writes, "Hey everyone, just ran across your podcast and I'm really liking it. I do have a question for you about something and I hope you can help me with. Here goes. My family is going for a reunion type thing next year, late June, early July 2008. So hopefully this will give you guys plenty of time to get this email before then. There will be 18 people going. This includes people aged 50s all the way down to a year old at the time. We have to go in the summer because there are 3 kids that are in school and our time is limited when they can go. I have included a breakdown of the list of people. There's basically anyone from 1 to 50, basically. I mean, there's a couple of couples there in the 30s and 40s. So, you get the idea of what kind of age groups we're talking about here. Scott writes, no one other than myself is a Disney fan, and I've only been to the world, and I've been to the world anytime recently. My brother and sister have not been for 20 years, and none of the others have ever gone ever. I'm trying to convince them we need to start planning this early. My questions are, would we qualify for a magical gathering, or whatever it's called, type of planning, and where do I get help on this?
That's an Annette question.
Yes, you're definitely a magical gathering. Could be your own small group. It depends on how everybody's going to be separating into rooms. If you're going to be 10 rooms or more, you might qualify for some room discounts and some ticket discounts. But for magical gathering information, you actually can go to DisneyWorld.com and find that information, or go to Deb's site. She has some great information on that. Or any vacation planner working with Disney can help you with that and help you plan that for all of your family, because it can get a little tricky dealing with different generations and family and everybody having different ideas about what they want to do in Disney. Sometimes just coming together for that one meal a day might be all the family wants to do, or sometimes they want to stay all together all day.
Well, Scott's got some more questions for you, Annette. Would you recommend staying on-site, and what type of resort would work best? I have thought a Valley Resort would be the best way to go. Would you recommend a moderate just for more room? They do not need to have to be connecting rooms or anything, except for maybe the couple that's in the 40s who have 2 kids.
On-site works really well with families like this, because some people with the 1-year-old, they might want to come back to the resort for nap time. Some young kids might want to come back and swim during the day and then go back in the park. It definitely on-site gives you the availability to use the Disney transportation.
Can they stay off-site and still qualify for the Magical Gathering?
No.
Yeah,
no,
so that's the caveat. If you want to go off-site and get a vacation home, you won't be able to qualify for it, right, Annette?
Right. No. You also, it's easier if everybody stays in the same location. Disney does have their vacation club properties that you can rent. If you're looking to all try to stay in a 2-bedroom, maybe, Oki West, Newell, maybe.
Newell's Landing.
And it does make it so you can have, family time and then back in the park. But you're going to be in the parks an awful lot, so sometimes just having the hotel room. I know my family personally, their favorite place to go for family reunions, Port Orleans Riverside. So.
One last question for you, Annette, from Scott. Scott wants to also know, how hard will it be to get ADRs for the group that large? I know we'll have to do it at the 180-day mark. I'm telling them that we really need to plan something like this out, since none of them know anything about Disney. I'm hoping that they hear that we need to plan it on a podcast, which I'll make them listen to, and they will realize that we need to get the ball started. So for a group of 18, how hard has it been in your experience, Annette, to get ADRs for that group?
Family, please listen. You need to get together and figure this out, because it's very, very hard to get 18 people together for dinner. You have to be really on the ball. And could you imagine calling to Canada and going, we want 18?
They'd laugh at you.
3 words, beer garden.
I was just about to say that. Sent you to excuse me while we connect you to Beer Garden.
Nine Dragons Beer Garden and
the Mike Newell special.
It's the Mike Newell touring special.
Keep laughing.
No, it can be very, very difficult, and it takes a little bit of planning, and they won't even sometimes guarantee that your tables would be close together. You might get 3 or 4 tables, but they definitely won't be close together. So the earlier you call, the better. So 180 days, I would be ready to call.
Great. Next email's from Jennifer in Connecticut, who writes, hey guys, just called Pop Century 5 days before my check-in to request a specific building. They told me that they don't get reservations at the hotel until the day I check in, and politely transferred me to Central Reservations. This worked last year when I stayed at French Quarter. Have any of you run into this change too? I've heard of this, but I always call like 3 days before, and it's always fine for me, Annette. Have you?
3 days before is, if you go 5, sometimes it's not happened yet. But 3 days seems to be the key.
Yeah, they say 3 to 5, but I say 3 is, that like you said, Annette, that's the fail-safe day.
What could they possibly ask for at Park Century?
Well, they wanted a building request.
It's
That's
easier to go in and put that in when it's really a lot easier to put it in when you do
Exactly.
when you go on and book it, call back in earlier than that and put it on there because the room assigner does look at those requests. So that's easier than trying to, especially I did this week. I went full circle 5 times before I finally got to the right person. So
There you go.
You mean you had to go call back other people? Like you tried one person that didn't work, and then you tried someone else?
I got called all around Disney World. I went all over the place trying to get to Riverside. I started at Riverside and got transferred everywhere to finally get back to where I started. So it's a lot easier to just take care of it in the beginning.
Makes sense. Next email is from Mark Lorenzo, who writes, Dear Walt Disney World podcast guys, I love your podcast. I just started listening to you this week. Where have you been all my life? Annette, how many times have you heard that?
Not often. To you guys. It was a guys thing, so that was to you guys. So.
Well, your podcast reminds me of the Car Talk radio type banter. Keep up the good work. You don't have to be the number one podcast to be awesome to listen to. Boy, that's not a backhanded compliment. I don't know what is.
Yeah, really.
My son, 9 years old, and I are going to be to Disney World for 7 nights at All-Star Sports. We have a 6-day Magic Your Way park hopper with water parks and more option. I have 2 quick questions regarding the tickets. My first question is, would it be worth my while to upgrade to a 10-day no-expiration ticket and use the remaining 4 days another time or year? Is the cost of upgrading worth it? If you could swing it, I think it's worth it, right? It's just more expensive.
I agree. Yeah.
That's the bottom.
Wait a minute. No expiration?
Again.
Yeah, you have no expiration. 10-day no expiration ticket.
No, 10-day no expiration is kind of expensive, isn't it, Annette?
Yeah. It can be. It all really depends on what you're looking to do. Because if you're going to put the water parks on there, that other stuff, and it depends on what you plan on doing. I'd probably go an annual pass, but.
Yeah, I agree.
But it depends on when you're looking to go back. If you're going to take a couple of years.
Yeah, exactly. Good point, Annette.
Yeah, if you're going to go
price
back
of the tickets are going up.
If you go back within the year, within 12 months, though, I'm guessing the annual pass will pay off because of other discounts that you'll realize with it.
Yep.
Mark also wants to know, my second question is my son, who is 9 now and turns 10 in November. Will Disney honor a child's ticket with no expiration, even though the next time he goes to Disney World and uses his child's ticket, he'll be 10 or 11 years old?
I think we had that before, and I think the answer was yes.
Yeah, I think if you buy it when he's of age, it's okay.
Yes, it's not like he's going to have an ID on him.
Yeah, exactly. Next email is from Chip, who writes, Hi guys, my trip is only 9 days away. I have one quick question that hopefully you can get to before my trip. Well, someone will hopefully benefit from this question.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
We're staying at All-Star Movie Resort and have heard that they show movies by the pool at night. Is this true? And if so, can you tell me more about it? I have heard that they show I know they show movies at Wilderness Lodge or Fort Wilderness. I can't remember which one it is. I don't know. I don't think they show movies at All-Star Movies, and if they have, then my fiance who worked over there never mentioned it to me. Have you guys heard of any movies at All-Star Movies being shown?
It's a great idea, but I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I don't think so. I know that they show movies.
Campfire.
What's that?
Movies by the campfire.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. That's at Fort Wilderness, Annette?
Right.
Yeah. Next email is from Todd Wetmore, who writes, Guys, I just finished listening to episode 298 this morning when you ranked the park extra magic hours. During the show, you mentioned that in December, the Magic Kingdom is going to be open until 2 a.m., meaning with extra magic hours, you could be in the park until 5 a.m. Last year, during our almost annual pilgrimage, quote-unquote, home, myself and a few friends found ourselves at Disney World during the 4th of July week. One of the few benefits to being at the park during one of the busiest times of the year were the late park hours, including one day when the Magic Kingdom was open until 1 a.m. plus extra magic hours. We knew we would never make it until 4 a.m., but wanted to see who would be at the park that late. So we went back to our room early that night and woke up at 2:30 a.m. By the way, there is nothing like getting a screaming wake-up call from Stitch at that time in the morning. After stumbling out of bed, we got to the Magic Kingdom just after 3 a.m. We had enough time to ride all of the mountains and just got in under the wire for Pirates as we had the last ride of the quote-unquote day. Our only regret is that Aloha Isle wasn't open for a Dole Whip at 4 a.m., but that would have been great.
That's why I'm not there.
Love the show. Keep up the great work. By the way, after hearing about the 2 a.m. time in December, I called my friend and told him we need to plan another trip just to uphold our Pirates ride time record. So, there you go. Someone did stay up that late at one point. Next email is from Sean Neva, who writes, all right, Matt, I'm the guy that was trying to get help with the dining that you read the email on Back on Show episode 299. I'll have you know that since you refused to read the rest of the restaurants after the Polynesian dinner show because you said I lost all credibility, I changed some of our selections, all because of you. We have never been to the Not So Scary Halloween event before, so I canceled the dinner show, but it wasn't easy finding something to replace it with a month and a half out. So we decided not to eat at a sit-down restaurant that evening and replace the meal with the Crystal Palace for dinner. I'm not sure if this is much better, but there wasn't much left. Is that a decent place? Although I've been to Disney many times before. My family never ate at any of the park restaurants. What can I say? They were cheap.
No problem with Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I like Crystal Palace a lot. I think it's good. Winnie the Pooh characters are over there. Annette, what's your opinion of the Crystal Palace?
I've never done dinner there. I've always done like a brunch kind of deal there, but the food there was really good. I love the atmosphere of eating in the park.
Yeah, that's exactly right. With the windows over there, you can see right into the park. I like the atmosphere. The atmospheres are great, and it's a pretty good selection of food. Some of the buffets tend to have a little bit limited selection, but Crystal Palace, I think, has a great selection of food.
I hope he had a great time, because if this was October, he's back now.
Welcome back.
Surely he means about 2008. Next email is from Steve, who writes 2 things that come up over and over again that I've been through, and no matter how good an argument someone makes, Scopa never comes around, so I'm going to take a crack at it. All right, here's the first one. You ready for this, Scopa? Bringing infants to Walt Disney World. My wife and I brought our son when he was 1 to Walt Disney World, and I understand the argument that they won't appreciate it and that having him with us would restrict what we could do at the parks, but the other side of it is, at that age, there's virtually no place that he'll appreciate more than a few minutes, and our decision to go was more for us rather than him, because it's acceptable to bring infants into nice restaurants and sometimes even have them make some noise when you're at Walt Disney World. Scopa? Response?
What do you want me to say? I will never agree that it's a good idea to bring infants to Walt Disney World, because I think that in the case of the infant, it may be an uncomfortable time because of the situation, and there are so many loud noises, and there are large creatures and things like that. They may not be ready for it. And as far as the parents go, I think the parents want to see the reaction of the child to Mickey and everything. But I just will stand by my feelings and say you don't bring a child to Walt Disney World till they may be 4 or 5.
All right. Steve also writes, dining plan. You're all pretty vocal about this, especially Scopa and Matt. It's only a lot of food if you eat everything, but more importantly, when you're traveling with kids, as I think we can all agree happens a lot at Disney, whether you're hungry or not, they need to eat 3 or 4 times a day. My son is now 3.5, and I have a daughter that's 1.5. We're back in the parks in January, and 1 table service and 1 sit-down a day wouldn't have worked. So while the meals are large because they're full 3 to 4 course meals, some might say there aren't enough meals to begin with. Love the podcast. Keep up the good work. It's an interesting point. I mean, for that, I guess you gotta... I don't think it's a good option. I don't like the dining plan that much. But people tend to disagree with us a little bit on that point. So it works for me. That's all I know. I'm happy with my choice. Last email of the day is going to be from Jennifer Weber of Westfield, Indiana, who writes, hi, I have 2 questions regarding where to stay. Have any of you stayed in the Value Suites All-Star? Would you recommend them? Is the bedroom a fully separate room with a door, or is it just a walled-off area? And then, have you stayed in the Value Suites, or have you been in them?
I've been in them. I thought they were really a nice option for families. I don't remember if there was a door. The bedroom is definitely off by itself.
Because basically what they did was they took 2 old rooms, and they just knocked down the wall that separated them. And I don't remember if there is a door or it's just a walled-off. I want to say there's a door, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, see, I want to say the same thing, but I'm not positive.
We'll put a link. I'll put a link in the show notes, Annette, to Deb's. Deb has some pictures of it, I know, and we can probably see from over there. Yep. Jennifer also wants to know, I asked because we have 2 small kids who will be 4 and 2 when we go next time, and we'd like to find an affordable suite to stay in so we don't have to sleep as much as they do. P.S. I know the general feelings on the show as to bring your kids there, but we generally just go at their pace and keep them off the rides when they'll disturb older visitors. We can't stay away from the magic until they're older. If you're looking for a suite, would there be anything better than... I think the All-Star Suite is fine. And can you think of anything else that might be better for them?
I mother of 3 here, so I get what you're saying, because there's nothing worse than having to go to bed at 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night and just lay there in the dark while the kids are sleeping. The All-Star Suites is perfect for that because the kids can sleep in one room and you've got a TV and the bed in the other room, so you can watch TV, stay awake, talk, do whatever. Another option might be one of the cabins where you actually would have a full kitchen. Could take care of the 2-year-old's needs of snacks and juice cups and that kind of stuff while you're there too.
All right, and we will finish. Jennifer has one last question, and it's perfect for Mike Newell, who has said so much. But Mike, we need you to contribute just a little bit more, please.
Put that sandwich down, Mike.
I like turtles.
I like turtles too. Jennifer wants to know, we're hoping to be able to buy a DVC in 1 to 2 years. Any recommendations as to which one are good values? We're open to resales.
Well, right now I think the Vero Beach is probably the cheapest. That you're going to Vero Beach and Hilton Head, you'll probably find the best deals from.
Let me read the rest of this, Mike, and this might help you make a recommendation. We are park junkies and not really interested in water parks, golfing, etc., except as maybe the occasional venture. Particularly, we are curious which ones might be close to the parks, have good bus or similar transportation, and would have fun at the resort for our kids as they get older. Restaurants aren't really an issue because we will likely have a few meals in the room itself, and we love eating around the world. Mike, correct me if I'm wrong, I think this is a good candidate for Old Key West.
I've only stayed at Old Key West and Vero, so I can only speak for Old Key West. But yeah, absolutely. Old Key West by car is 5 minutes to Epcot. It's really right across the highway.
Yeah, that's why I'm thinking Old Key West would fit that. I mean, it's close to the parks.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care about the on-site dining, and you've mentioned before that you think that the Olivia's has gone down in quality over the years, right?
Yeah, it has. Unfortunately,
so, that's perfect. I would think, right?
I agree. I totally agree.
And they have better bus transportation than Saratoga, right?
Saratoga, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So there you go. Check out the sponsor, DVCByResale.com.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Perfect way to end.
Exactly, because this show is being sponsored by DVC by Resale, who's a great place to buy or sell your Disney Vacation Club points, perfect for the Weber family from Westfield, Indiana. You can view their current DVC resales, get answers to frequently asked questions, and see the DVC point charts, all by going to www.dvcbyresale.com or email Chantel, who's the owner, at info@dvcbyresale.com. Mike Newell's telling me to please make sure that everybody buys some of our merchandise because Mike needs to feed his family.
I like turtles.
I like turtles, too. If you want to find our older episodes, read our show notes, or send us your comments, visit the Walt Disney World Today website at www.wdwtoday.com. For Len Testa, Mike Scopa, Mike Newell, and Annette Owens, I'm Matt Hochberg. We'll see you on the next show.
This is Mouse World Radio.
Hi-ho! Kermit the Frog here. Join me, Fred Block of Magic Meats, and all my Muppet friends during Mouse Fest for Muppet Meets on Friday, December 7th at 4 p.m. in front of Muppet Vision 3D, located at the Disney MGM Studio. For more information, visit magicmeats.com. See you there!